Hey, this is Tim from Jeep Tubes, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Yes, you are. Hey, this is Tony. You know me as Motorroy on xjtalk.com and the XJ Talk Show, which we are going to be doing live tonight here in just a few minutes. If you're watching us live on YouTube, then you need to go over to xjtalkshow.com where we have a little chat room. I guess you don't have to, but I think I think you'd have more fun over there in the chat room on the xjtalkshow.com, where you can interact with other fellow XJ Talk, XJ and XJ Talk show enthusiasts and crack wise. Maybe you guys could even talk about this new social media thing with the Twitter and the Facebook. And there's something called the Google Plus. I never understood. In Facebook, you have friends, and Twitter, you have followers. In Google Plus, do you have circlers? I guess it'd be like buzzards. Anyway, we're going to be doing the pre-show here for a few minutes, and then we'll be starting right after that. Shouldn't be more than half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, we can fit it in just under an hour. We should go live then.
You know, I was on Dan's 4x4 podcast 100th anniversary show, and they had a myriad of problems trying to get Google Hangouts working, and I think they were 42 minutes late starting. Does that bring back memories?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, I figured I'll talk again about my my interview over at Fox 26. I got my swag bag here that I can pull up and show some things.
You want to do that in Campfire side chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought about that. I just remembered I had not put anything into the notes. Although I don't think there was anything there.
No, well, there was a placeholder.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything. I mean, I do, but
yeah, but you're going to be using that for.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
Right. Well, if Tony's discussion on the interview goes anything like last night's show, we'll have plenty of filler.
Yeah, I figure we'll just go through it. I want to make sure people are aware of it, and they hopefully I'll have some stuff that I can get and put up for people to view, and certainly I can mention the video again. Oh, and by the way, I just happened to notice today that Hit and Run 2 video is up to like over 3,000 views now.
Nice.
Yeah, surprising.
Well, I've got a little show and tell for tonight's episode as well, so I'll be holding some stuff up for the camera.
Okay, remember this show does not have an explicit rating.
Right.
It's the other show.
I know.
I did get the mud flaps in, but I was going to save that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't need to.
You haven't been doing
anything on one episode.
Yeah, really.
Pardon?
He said you don't have to blow everything on one episode. So,
exactly.
You haven't been doing anything with the Jeep, going anywhere, doing anything?
Soccer games.
Oh, soccer games.
Yeah, my son plays Friday night. He has basketball. Saturday and Sundays. Most of the time it's just Saturdays, but he has soccer games. So, but I just got an email from some folks. They want to go to Roush Creek. So maybe Memorial Day weekend I'll go.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to set up a private off-roading lesson again with Kyle, the guy who did the 101 and 201s, to take me on some blues.
Also, too, if we can fit it in, I'll mention that my heat creep problem seems to have been solved.
All right, we'll throw that in the chat as well.
Well, if you're busy with something else, I'm looking for that area to type it in. But
I've already got it.
Okay.
Hey, this is Mark from DetourSUSA.com. You're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
So I posted a picture of
Oh, that's strange. We've never had a problem with Tammy being blocked out by the music.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, that one song has given me problems before. That was the one song that seemed to give me the most grief.
Try it again,
I
Tammy.
think as far as...
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but
There you go.
Josh is hooked up a little differently now than what he used to be, and we would have problems when I played music. It would kind of chop his audio out. So that was doing it to you just then. So I had to turn the music down a little bit. But I think we can hear you now.
So I posted this picture of when I was going up to through Baltimore on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And I said, yep, driving through Baltimore, you can't even tell anything's going on there. So some random person, and I reported the comment, but he's like, you ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait till Friday. That's when it's going to be really bad.
Was that a threat?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
It was, yeah. He said it.
And the sad thing was it was Michael Moore. Rape, looting, and pillaging buffets from coast to coast. Says the fat guy in the red XJ Talk hat. And this song is a unique, composition. There we go. From Tom Rapp, and it's called "What a Jeep."
So he said, yeah, most of Baltimore is fine. I live there, and I know. Now you know the truth. But just wait till Friday. That's when it gets violent again and gets worse, in all caps, than what happened on Monday.
Well, it's good that people have a hobby. I'm surprised you were driving in there, frankly.
I was just around the Beltway. I didn't even go anywhere near where this stuff was. Couldn't even tell. I mean, because it was, the loop around Baltimore.
Oh yeah, no, all that stuff is very localized. It looks like a lot more than what it is because of the news media focusing in on the exciting bits.
Right. I was a little nervous, but then once, it was fine. I was nervous, like, God, maybe they start, coming out on the overpasses and start.
Right. Well, they were doing that in Ferguson, weren't they? Actually blocking traffic on the freeways.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know that we have anything special out of the ordinary on the show that we're not already used to. I put in a couple of quick Jeep tips.
Yeah, it's got those in there.
We've got one short Nikki G, which we'll carry on with the Mind of Nikki G thing, and then we have those two relatively short voicemails. And that's about all I can kind of think of. I know, Josh, you went through the show notes, so I'm sure you're aware of what's in there. We'll start off with the 4x4 Radio Network promo, and of course the music intro. I think everybody is aware, but basically what we'll do is I'll play the new intro. And that'll be your cue to wave, because we'll start almost immediately on the screen, if you will.
All right.
And then
start waving when?
Well, I'm going to start that new intro, and it runs about 30 seconds. So I would, maybe a couple of seconds or 3 seconds in, at least 3 seconds in, the video on us should be up. So you can wave, and then we'll go straight from the intro to This Week in Jeep. What do we call that? That drop, that intro that we play, and then to Josh doing the This Week in Jeep news. Are we waiting on anything, Josh? Are you ready to go?
I'm just getting details for one last wheel and wear.
That's cool.
But
Take
we
your
can
time.
go. Excuse me. We can go ahead and start.
I'm gonna close things up, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, also too, we're not going to be playing the disclaimer.
Okay.
We may come back with one of those in the future, but for right now, no. So it'll be a lot quicker entry into the show, into the This Week in Jeep. Ooh, gotta get the timer up. Get all ready with everything but that. And I see Steve and guest 6135.
No, that was me by accident.
Yeah, you should have left me with that.
Oh, sorry.
Paybacks for spoiling your son's punchline.
I have a joke.
Oh, good.
Outstanding.
He wrote a joke. Let me go find it. It's right here somewhere.
Sure. I'm moving this over here. Actually, I'll put it right there. Okie dokie. I was surprised as a child to learn that okie dokie is short for okay donkey. And then I was even more confused. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the button. We'll that's right. We'll start off with the intro, the 4x4 Radio Network, then into our intro, and then into This Week in Jeep. Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think Tammy's not. Give her a second.
Yep, I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wait till you quiet down before I start.
Sorry.
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
Are you ready?
It's the XJ Talk Show. With Tammy on Wrangler. Tony and Josh on Cherokee. So sit back, strap in, and brace yourself.
First Week in Jeep.
Man, how do I follow an intro like that? Seriously.
I failed at the wave.
I'm going to have to do this part of This Week in Jeep naked or something like that. Get ready for this. No, guys, that's a fantastic intro. Great work on that, Tony. This Week in Jeep, guys, we got a call to action. I need you guys to all rally around this right here, right now. We need to save the Brazos Valley Off-Road Ranch. Brazos Valley Off-Road Ranch has been a great family off-roading park for many, many years. Not only is it an outlet for locals, but for off-roading enthusiasts around the state. It is one of the only parks of its kind, and with the safety rules in place, also one of the safest. Also, at this privately owned piece of land, Steve Oppersteny keeps the park low cost by accepting only donations, making it a very low cost, stress-free, relaxing, and family-oriented place for people to come and enjoy the outdoors in a way that many don't get to experience. Not only does Steve and the local TX4wheeldrive.org chapter conduct their off-roading meetings out there, but they also organize events to raise money for local charities several times a year. The Brazos Valley Off-Road Ranch is a close-to-home off-road park that many local people in the area frequently enjoy, without having to travel several hours to other parks and pay their high entry fees. Brazos County and Bryan Township have laid out plans for developing this private land and for housing and building roads across this area. To all the four-wheel drive enthusiasts out there, these actions would be extremely detrimental to the off-road community and the enjoyment of the local population as well. Needless to say, they need your help. A petition has gone up, guys, and signatures are needed. To help out, all you need to do is go to the petitions page, and we'll post up that link in our show notes, and I'll go ahead and give it to you now, but you'll see why it'll just be easier for you guys to go to xjtalk.com and search for episode 176 if you're listening to this in the future, that is. We need signatures, people. Signatures. Yours could make all the difference in the world. For now, go to ipetitions.com/petitions/save Brazos Valley Off-Road Ranch and sign now. We will have that link up in the show notes. So please, guys, we need signatures and we need them now. NHTSA gears up to take action in the coming weeks against Jeep. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is poised to take action in the coming weeks on 2 long-running safety recalls that it views as progressing too slowly. The agency's top official has said this week. The NHTSA Administrator Mark Rosekind said today that 2 working groups at the agency have developed a range of options for next steps the agency can take on the recall of 1.56 million older Jeep SUVs for fuel tanks that could rupture in a crash. These are the older Jeep Cherokee gas tank crashes that we've been talking about for weeks now. The most important thing was to be able to generate a range of options for us to kind of decide where we want to address these issues in a strategic but timely way, Rosekind said. I think we're on 1 or 2 weeks away from actually having some concrete things to start taking action on. The NHTSA has declined to specify the options that are on the table, but the agency has been dissatisfied with the overall pace of repairs under the recalls nonetheless. Bloomberg reported earlier this month that the agency may consider reopening an investigation into the Jeep recalls after reviewing how many of the Jeeps were repaired in the first quarter, which isn't many. In any case, this comes as a bad time as Fiat Chrysler is staring down the barrel of another round of massive recalls. Yeah, I know, not good news. We'll get into that a little bit more next week. And coming up next week as well, there's rumors going around that automakers and the government may be teaming up to take steps to prevent us from fixing or modifying or tuning our own vehicles. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. For This Week in Jeep, guys, I got to give big, huge props to Jake and John once again, working overtime to get me some content. I want to thank the rest of you guys by submitting those stories as well. Keep up the great work and keep those stories coming in. If you've got something you think we should report on, or you got a response to any one of our stories here on This Week in Jeep, please send a response to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
You know, I'd like to see a government that actually supports business and instead of trying to run them out of business, frankly.
It's just more governmental regulation that we certainly don't need any more of.
It just seems like a really dumb thing to me. I mean, yeah, we need to be safe and things need to be made well, but this stuff was made a long time ago and certainly things have improved. And, I think everybody knows how I feel about this. I think it's just you carry a flammable fuel, and bad things are going to happen from time to time. Hopefully they don't, and maybe one of these days we won't have conventional fuel that can burst into flames. We'll have small nuclear reactors that will.
Oh, outstanding!
It will
And we
decimate.
have a mushroom cloud reported on the 5 just south of.
It will decimate a small area, and they'll have to put a drive around for the next 50,000 years to keep people safe away from the radiation.
Good news, folks. The half-life of 84 is just about up. No.
That's right. You will still be closing 85 whenever 84 reopens. So, anywho, that's we always have that to look forward to.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tappa Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix. You already know about XJ Talk on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. But did you know we're on YouTube as well? We have off and on-road adventures, how-tos for fixing or augmenting your Jeep. Besides, man cannot live by sound alone, right? Come see what we got at youtube.com/user/XJTalk. Don't forget to subscribe and make comments on our videos.
This is Dan from the 4x4 podcast, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Hey guys, on this week's Wrangler Talk, I make a change to the Rubicon with a new Jeep part out on the market.
This is Steve, 4.3 LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always use distilled water in your radiator. Now, a lot of people just take the garden hose and fill up their radiator, but most water, if it's not distilled, has minerals in it. And those minerals set up electrolysis within your radiator, and you start getting stuff that looks like rust, which it is, because of those minerals that are in the water. And they can also rust out the freeze plugs, and you get leaks in them. So use distilled water and antifreeze only in your radiator, unless you've got some kind of specialized coolant substitute. But doing this will avoid a lot of headaches.
Excellent. So I want to talk to you here a moment about the 4x4 Radio Network, the XG Talk Show, and the 4x4 podcast, and now the Center Steer podcast, which is Land Rovers. Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Have created a network. We'll be adding more shows to the lineup soon. In fact, I was talking to Dan earlier, and he's going to be talking to a yet to be named additional. Hadn't told you guys about this, have I?
No.
Additional new podcast. We hopefully they'll join. They may not. This may be a little premature, but I think they will, because it's a great network, and you guys should go over and visit www.4x4radionetwork.com, and that 4x4, well, that's an X, so 4x4radionetwork.com. It's
That's all you
getting
gotta
bigger,
do, guys. Yeah, it is. New shows added all the time. Of course, you can always head over to the respective shows' websites to get them there, but it's a great source to get all in one, all of your off-road podcasts in one place. It's a great place to go for all that sort of stuff. www.4x4radionetwork.com.
Oh, and we've got a little Center Steer promo here that we ran last week, and we're going to run this again.
The Center Steer Podcast, a Land Rover podcast by Land Rover owners.
So there you go. It's our second anniversary. This is as much as we're doing. We
now have 2 listeners.
Oh, we have more than 2.
2 that will admit to it.
Yeah, that's true. And hi to Derek. We always got to say hi to him. We're going to talk to the Lizzie Bus folks. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us. It's just absolutely great. So it's quite kind of surreal that we're sitting here, as we mentioned, in Birmingham, and talking to you guys over there in the States, which is very familiar to us, having just driven for the last 5.5 years around the world in our Defender called Lizzie Bus.
That's just amazing. Just an amazing story over there on the most recent episode of the Center Steer podcast. You can go over to either the Facebook page for the 4x4 Radio Network or the webpage itself, 4x4radionetwork.com, and or just go to the Center Steer podcast and listen to that riveting interview. And John and the gang over there do a great job. They do a lot of talking about Land Rover. And if you want to sit back and listen to a lot of information, I mean, talking about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of content, you have it will help you fill your day at work. It'll keep you awake. So when the boss walks by, you may not hear him, but or her, but you'll certainly be awake, which is always conducive to maintaining employment. So here's a little section that we do to introduce ourselves. You guys know me as Tony. That's also my stage name. And thank you. And poll is optional. So
bring your dollars.
We excuse me, $5. Well, quarters are okay too. So anyway, you know me from xjtalk.com, a little Jeep forum that we started about 6 years ago. And if you like that, you should like this, because that's why we're doing this podcast, is to help promote xjtalk.com, wranglertalk.com, and of course now the 4x4 radionetwork.com. So here's my co-host Josh.
That's right, I am Josh, and you guys know me as NW99XJ or Northwest 99XJ all over the interwebs and all throughout the Jeep world. Guys, we are here to bring you lots of tech, a little bit of entertainment, and well, just maybe help fill your day with some off-road goodies as well. And like Tony said, we are here to support the website, so please talk about them with your friends, share them in your posts, and we encourage you guys to visit often.
And I'm Tammy. I'm Jeep Mama. I have a blog at www.jeepmama.com, and my blog's about my journey with my new Rubicon.
Outstanding. We all have our own Jeeps. We're all Jeep families here. And of course, we welcome you guys to our extended Jeep family to join us every week as we record the XJ Talk Show live every Thursday, 10 p.m. Central. We broadcast it live as well over at xjtalkshow.com. You can also find us on YouTube. We encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube page, and you can find the shows there as well, youtube.com/xjtalk. And we are all over the web, guys. Make sure you check us out on Facebook as well, facebook.com/xjtalk.page. In the meantime, we encourage you guys to give our 24/7 voicemail line a call. That's 530-675-4102. All kinds of ways to join in on the XJ Talk Show fun. Yeah. And speaking of voicemails.
Yeah, also, too, don't forget about our Speak Pipe that's right on our webpage. And I want to encourage.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it sounds best that way. A little bit shorter time, though. I think you only have 90 seconds as opposed to a good 3 minutes on the number that Josh gave you. I also want to encourage everybody to use the hashtag XJ Talk Show and put that on all your Jeep posts, so we'll let everybody know about the XJ Talk Show on Twitter, and also to kind of form a little family like the family we have over at xjtalk.com. Now let's get to those voicemails. Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show.
And Tammy.
We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hi, guys. This is Joe. And I've had my 4 eggs and a cup of coffee. I'm on my way to work. And I just wanted to tell you that I was very happy I purchased another Jeep. But I'm sorry that it's not an XJ, but it's a WJ. And it's in
like
nice shape, and so it has more.
Curse of the cell phone.
It seems a lot like the XJ, it's straight axle and stuff, and just wanted to call and touch base and just share my excitement with somebody that might care. So you guys have a great day and keep up the great work. Bye.
Well, thank you, Joe. We appreciate the call, and you will find WJ fans here. In fact, I am a huge WJ fan. I've always had a soft spot for the Grand Cherokees, the later model ZJs, and really the WJs is where my heart falls with that body style. If I was to build today, if I was to build an expedition vehicle or an overland vehicle, my platform of choice would be a WJ. For many, many reasons, which we won't have time to go into right here and now. But nonetheless, Joe, congratulations on the new purchase. and another addition of a Jeep to the family.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you very much for taking the time to give us a call. Don't feel bad about the cell phone thing, because that happens all the time. It's the love having you call in. So here we have another voicemail, and it is from Super Croc. Maybe he's got some good news about his no start issue from
I hope so.
Last show.
Tried our best to help him out. Yeah.
Hello, this is Anton, the Super Croc. Good news. She starts.
Could you hear
that? You can hear it in the background.
I'm thinking a combination of CPS and low battery. I'll try to give you guys a listen to her now as she purrs. Not sure if you heard that, but she is running. Thanks for everything. Bye.
I'm not sure what Child Protective Services would have to do with the Jeep not running, but okay.
Yeah. Well, make sure you open the garage door next time when you start
exactly.
the Jeep. So.
Roll the windows down.
Anton, a.k.a. Super Croc, thank you very much for the voicemail, and so glad that the Jeep is back up and running, man.
Yes.
There's a lot of advice. He posted up a thread up on xjtalk.com, and just was starting to get a slew of advice right away. Mm-hmm. A lot of good stuff, a lot of great troubleshooting tips, and just goes to show you guys why you need to join our little family, our little extended Jeep family there, and pop over to one of the best, if not the best. It is the premier Jeep site on the web, guys. No flaming, no harsh criticism, no, here, let me Google that for you, no stupid questions. It's all about helping our fellow Jeep brethren out.
I love the smart ass comments, and some of those things are pretty funny. Like, have you Googled it? Or what was it? Have you heard about Google? Or there's this thing called the internet that has all kinds of information that you can find if you just search. But or
posting up a link of how to search in the web, or how to search this forum, stuff like that. Yeah, it's you won't find any of that stuff over at xjtalk.com. All you're going to find are professionals, other Jeep enthusiasts, and a lot of people who just want to help out and just enjoy the Jeep hobby and all that is Jeep for that matter.
Yeah, and I just don't want you guys to think we're squares. I'm a huge smartass. And it's
I will attest to that.
And it's hard for me not to be a smartass, even though my intent isn't hateful. It's hard for me not to be a smartass, but it was important for everybody to have a site where they could come and search and feel that it was easy to ask questions, whether or not it had been asked and answered 1,000 times before. So there you go.
You have to be careful online because you don't know someone else's tone, so you have to be mindful. Even if you're trying to be silly smartass, someone may take it in a bad way. So
absolutely, and that's why I always put a winky face, because that is like the get out of jail free card.
Right.
I did the winky face. You could tell I wasn't serious. All right, so now let's get to Josh is actually highlighting the show notes, which is he's telling me to move along.
Tony.
It's move along, Tony.
I'll give you a couple highlights, and then I'll start interjecting my voice and just physically moving this thing along. No.
Some of this stuff you guys don't know it, but it always happens. Is like it's highlighted, and we've never discussed this. I just know it's time for me to start doing something else. Shut up and do the next thing.
Shut up, Tony. Shut up and listen to Jeep Mama.
Exactly. Watch the marker. Okay, so now it's time for some YouTube love.
Yeah, guys, every week we pull some names out of the hat. This is just a few, 4 to be exact, out of our list of subscribers that is growing all the time. And we will encourage you guys to, get in on that list.
Absolutely.
And make sure you tell a friend, spread the word about our YouTube channel. And by doing so, we go ahead and give a little homage and a little shout out to some of the people who appear on our list. First on the list tonight, Tony, take it away.
David Robinson.
I wonder if that's the Admiral. Basketball player David Robinson.
I'm thinking it's
we got
Mrs.
a celebrity
Robinson
in the house.
I'm thinking it's Mrs. Robinson's husband.
Oh boy.
Timely reference.
Mike S, or maybe Mike's in there as well.
Robert Vandenbroek.
That's what I'd go with.
And I could have given you this one, but figured that's going to be a mouthful. No, this is Inkhole's Tattoo Company, and we appreciate you and all
very good.
of your
I would have
employees
never
there
said
helping us
that.
out.
He did some research. He didn't just come up with that.
Once again, guys, youtube.com/xjtalk.
And now we go to a new segment, one that I think everybody likes. I know Jeep Mama likes this one.
Yep, my favorite.
From the mind of Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G. And I just want to say a good call to the person who bought the freezer on Amazon.com. Good job spending the extra bucks for a new one, because any used one you find on Craigslist probably had a body in it at one time or another. And I wish I could take credit for that joke, but I heard it from Dan and Greg on the 4x4 podcast a couple of weeks ago. When I heard that, I thought of that. What can I say? It's been a slow week. All right, guys. I will chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
This has been From the Mind of Nikki G.
Oh, man, I can't believe that. He gives a 4x4 plug on our show.
I know. Sneaking it right in there.
No, it ain't nothing but love there. But could you imagine a perfume or a cologne or something, a body spray, if you will, that is fashioned after the smell of a Craigslist freezer?
Or a decomposing corpse. It'd be really popular Halloween.
That'd be just about the same, I think. Well, and on that note, we're going to tell Tony to shut up because it's time to listen to Jeep Mama.
Oh, and we still don't have a promo, Josh. We need.
We do. It is in the works.
In the making, yes.
It is. I actually spent some time over the last weekend and have started to put some things together. But I need another call to action from you guys. I need all of you out there in the sound of my voice. The last time I did this, we got some great responses, but I need more. Yes, I'm greedy as all hell. What you guys did was not good enough, and so I need a little bit more action from you. We need you to call our voicemail line or use our SpeakPipe feature over at xjtalkshow.com. Give that voicemail line a call, 530-675-4102. And this is all I need you to do. Really easy. Just call, use the SpeakPipe feature, and say, shut up and listen to Jeep Mama. You can say that or shut up, it's time for Wrangler Talk. Something like that. Any mix of those words will do just fine. I'll take care of the editing. Give me a few takes, if you will. Doesn't matter. Have some fun with it. But I need you guys to give me those samples. And I'm going to make one of the best intros we've had for this show, at least for this segment anyways, out of all that stuff. So a little claim to fame, if you will. Get your voice in there at least. And we'll have some fun with this.
Yep. And actually, I'm going to grab one of the ones that we've already received. It gives everybody kind of maybe a little grease to
there you go.
Get the ideas going. So
some cash in the tip jar, if you will.
You don't have to make it sound like this, but you do have to do it. So get busy, guys. And now for some Jeep Mama.
Shut up and listen, because Mama knows best.
Okay, Wrangler Talk. Here we go. You remember last fall, I received an email from a company, and they wanted me to try out a new steering product they made specifically for the Jeep Wrangler. It was called the Steering Attenuator. It is called the Steering Attenuator, and it's by Performance Stability. Now, this steering attenuator is designed to help reduce the harsh road feedback you feel when you're in your steering wheel while you're driving your Jeep Wrangler. It's kind of that jittery steering. The company also stated it's supposed to make your driving your Jeep safer, and it gives you a peace of mind while you're driving. The attenuator is a highly engineered direct swap out for the drag link adjusting sleeve. They just take the drag link adjusting sleeve off and put the attenuator on. Well, at first I didn't feel comfortable at the time with my Jeep driving experience to make an honest judgment and a review of the product, and I wasn't confident in my ability to install the part on my Jeep. So I was able to pass the part on to a Jeep friend. He installed it on his Jeep Wrangler, and he felt a difference in the steering. So after I read his reviews and I posted a blog on it and all the other positive reviews I've seen on all the different Jeep forums about this particular part, and then I started paying more attention to my driving while I was out on the road. So I decided I wanted to finally try the steering attenuator for myself. So the folks at Performance Stability They agreed to send me another steering attenuator if I agreed to install it on my Jeep. Well, the Jeep mom in me really, really wanted to get under my Jeep and install the attenuator myself. I felt pretty confident I could have installed it myself if I just borrowed a few tools, but the sensible mom of 2 boys overruled the Jeep mom of wanting to do it myself. I've always, first and foremost, need to consider the safety and well-being of my children. Even though I was confident I could do the install myself, I didn't want to take the chance of a mess up of such a crucial system to my Jeep. And especially since it's my daily driver, and soon, I'm cringing right now that I have to say this, my son will be driving the Jeep as well. So I just took a chance and I called up the folks at Adams Jeep of Maryland where I bought my Rubicon. And like most dealers, they have a service shop. But their shop isn't just your typical dealer service shop. Adams Extreme Motorsports, they specialize in Jeep modifications. You guys should go to their lot and check it out. It's amazing. Every time I go up there, I drool because I see all these there's just tons of them, lifted Jeeps, modified Jeeps. So they know Jeeps. Anyway, I digress. So back to the steering attenuator. So the great friendly folks at Adams Extreme Motorsports agreed to install my attenuator for me. And it was their first installation of one. And so they were very curious as well for this Jeep part. So Tuesday morning, I headed out early on my drive north on I-95 to Adams Jeep of Maryland. And it was a quick and easy install. And so as I was able to head back down home on the interstate before noon. So later in the show, during my Jeep Mama review section, I'm going to share with you my initial reaction and thoughts on the newly installed steering attenuator on my Rubicon. Tony and Josh?
Excellent. Well,
very good.
I'm wanting to know if it made a difference, but I guess we'll have to wait.
Have to wait. Keep on listening.
Great tease right there for the rest of the show.
Don't go to bed yet, folks.
Damn it. Okay. Well, I don't guess we have to wait that long, do we, Josh?
No, not all that long.
Fast.
Just
Don't keep rambling, Tony.
We got a little more show to go through. And speaking of stuff coming up later in the show, not only are we going to hear a review from Jeep Mama, but we want to hear reviews from you guys. And, this is just a way that we judge, I guess how we're doing. We basically are looking for a report card from you about us. You can head over to iTunes or Stitcher Radio. You leave us a 5-star review, if you will. That'd be great. If not, we'll take what we can get from you guys. By all means, constructive criticism is welcomed. But if you guys would like to go ahead and give us a little pat on the back and tell us a good job or just say hi, it's a great place to do that as well. In fact, we've got a review from last year about this time. We got a 5-star rating, just like this one. This is what you guys got to do. This is from Garrett Tech. He says, love it. Great job with the podcast, guys. Helps me actually enjoy the 80 miles round trip to and from work every day. Well, I feel your pain. While I catch up on old episodes. The tech talk and interviews are top notch. Keep it up, please. L. Grox. So big thanks out there for that review. Guys, get your review out on the show and on the air as well. Just head over to iTunes or Stitcher Radio and give us a review and leave us a comment.
Yeah, we're not picky. You can go to xjtalk.com or the xjtalkshow.com and leave comments there, and we'll find them and use them on the show. So iTunes isn't the only place. I think it's the one that helps the show the most, though, because iTunes is a big place for podcasts. So if you can't do it there, we'll take it anywhere you want to give it to us. Wait a minute. That didn't sound right.
Okay, moving along.
That escalated quickly.
That's what she said.
This is Steve, 4.3 LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always carry fluids with you when you're out wheeling. That means that you should have a gallon of 50-50 mix antifreeze and water, distilled water. It means that you should have a quart of oil. It means you should have some power steering fluid and possibly some automatic transmission fluid. And I have a nice little box that holds all this stuff. I just throw it in and I'm good to go. You never know when that quart of transmission fluid is what you need to get home, or that little drip in your cooling system has just made it so you're getting hot all the time. So to make your day go better, take some fluids with you out on the trail.
I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit to this. Sorry to interrupt there, Tony. I do this. This is probably one of the most quintessential tips that you guys can take to heart, because if you spring a leak, let's say on your power steering line or something like that, let's say you have a transmission line that leaks, or like you said, a little coolant drip or something like that, and you are stuck. Let's say you're wheeling alone, or your buddy doesn't have fluids, and one of you is in trouble. Guys, a milk crate with a few essential quarts of essential fluids will make all the difference in the world. It will get you home, or at least get you down, back off the trail, and in a position where you guys can call a wrecker or a tow truck or something like that, AAA even, and get that rescue tow home. It is very important to carry things like recovery gear, and especially things like fluids. Great tip from Steve 4.3 LXJ.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
that's all right. Go ahead.
Ironically, another fellow Jeeper suggested that I do that as a blog post today. So it's kind of like, interesting to, two people suggested it. It's like
the universe is trying to tell you something.
And keep in mind, Steve recorded a whole long series of these quick Jeep tips probably 2 months ago. So it was just a very random happenstance that I picked that one off the long.
Talk about a roll of the dice playing out. Boy, nicely done, guys.
So I don't know if
I have to get a list from you guys because I would have no idea what kind of fluids I would need to bring.
Yeah. Actually, the manual in your in glove compartment is going to be one of the first places you want to look, and
excellent tip.
Actually, where you're going to get find out what is recommended for your vehicle, and then we can speak in general terms, but it's always best to look and see exactly what the manufacturer recommends for your vehicle.
Okay.
But anyway,
do we want to go down a really quick list, Tony?
Well, I just want to get this one damn thing out, Josh. So
let him speak.
Well, tell you what, guys. We will. How about this? We're going to tease this for next show. For next show, we're going to go ahead and go down a list of some of the more essential things that you want to be carrying in the back of your Jeep, and namely a fluids kit. So we'll go ahead and set that up for next week. So make sure you guys tune in to episode 177 of the XJ Talk Show coming up next week.
So anyway, what I wanted to say was, I don't know that this would be an environmental friendly thing to do, but if you get broken down off-road, you might actually be able to use some of those fluids to maybe not start a fire, but maintain one, especially in a wet environment with the oil. I don't know about automatic transmission fluid, but those things will burn. Well, the tires will too, but try not to use those.
No, you might need those later.
You might
I've actually used that.
So it
not
wasn't
the burning tires part.
It wasn't an earth-shaking thing, but I desperately had to say it.
Like, shut up! I got something to interject.
No, it's important.
It's easy for me to talk, so I'm glad Tammy's getting in on here. So I certainly don't mind the interruptions. Just found it funny. So anywho,
you're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
Missed it. I got one ahead. I'm talking to myself in the Jeep. Hey guys, how's it going?
There he is.
Hey guys.
Who were you talking to in the Jeep? Were you on the phone?
Oh man, no, guys, this is part of the show where we kind of just sit around the campfire and BS a little bit about Jeeps and what's going on in our own Jeep life, and we just kind of just shoot the breeze, chew the rag, and talk Jeep for a little bit.
Yep.
Tony, we've talked over the last few weeks, let's say month or so, about a recent hit and run that you had, and we went in depth on this, and the video is up on our YouTube channel. And real quick version of this, Tony was driving to work one day. A gal didn't quite do a lane change properly. There was some contact involved. He left a nice little tattoo on the side of her car with the side of his tire. And it all was caught on his dash cam. And that dash cam footage has gotten a lot of attention on YouTube. And some of that attention was a local news affiliate. And they invited him down for an interview at the news station. Tony, how did all that go?
Well, for the past couple of years, actually, I think maybe it was close to 3 years ago, I'm a big local Fox News, morning news type person.
He's a stalker.
Enjoy the show. Interact with
a groupie.
A groupie. Interact with a lot of the talent on the morning show, through Twitter and make those wise ass comments. But I was going to be traveling over to Conroe to actually do that engine change, the one that dropped the valve. And I reached out to Michelle Marhar and asked her what would the traffic be like. When would be the best time to drive up 45 to Conroe on this coming Friday? And to my utter surprise, she responded and gave me an idea what time to go, and just very friendly, very helpful, and
very nice.
Yeah, it was great, and then interacted with her many times on Twitter after that. So whenever I received a Twitter message asking if I wouldn't mind providing some source material or some video for a story that she was going to be doing about dash cams, I was more than happy to help. I was tickled pink, really, because here I was going to get some notice for all this editing and stuff that I do on these dash cam videos that literally get like 100 views. So I thought it was great. So I immediately said yes, and then about a week and a half later, I suppose, after giving her my phone number and email, she reached out to me on email and said, hey, can you come by the station today, tomorrow, or Wednesday and do an interview that we can use, and we'll play your videos over the top of the interview. And I'm like, holy crap, I don't want to be on TV. I mean, I'm here on YouTube, but I'm may or may not be wearing pants, and in the comfort of my own home. And they're probably going to want me to wear pants at the station. So I wasn't too sure if I should do it or not.
That's just asking way too much. No. We're going to stop this right here. Now, guys, Tony definitely has a face for radio.
Exactly.
So that's why he's a little reluctant to get in front of a national audience on a news feature that was definitely going to be having him. And we found out later his Jeep got a lot of attention.
Yep, and as you can see, the picture I have up now, if you're watching the live show or watching the YouTube recording, there is the camera guy and the producer of the promo segment that they're going to be running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the ultimate playing of the interview and the entire segment on Monday. And I would assume they're going to play it several times. You can actually see Michelle over there in kind of in the faraway person in the picture in front of my Jeep, and it was they were taking a picture of the dash cam, and then I think panning to her while she's talking. So I'm just blown away about how cool this is. I mean, the Jeep gets to be on TV. I get to be on TV, and I got to meet Michelle, and also to meet a couple of more people that are on the morning show during the studio tour. So just really beyond myself. Michelle was a great sport, and I said, would you mind if I took a picture of you in front of the Jeep? And she said, no, of course not. Aww. And then she immediately struck this pose with her hands around the XJ Talk Show or xjtalk.com logo on the back of my Jeep. And I didn't.
You see the photographer there?
Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Oh, okay. And then here's proof that Michelle has actually sat in my Jeep. She asked about 3 times every time she was going to get in because they were doing various shots. And I think the most colorful one was most colorful permission she asked was permission to come aboard, Captain.
Yes, climb aboard the ship de Mataroy.
So that was great. We actually did the interview inside the Jeep, and that I think that helped make it a little more comfortable for me than perhaps in a nice, well lit, air conditioned studio. And fortunately, it wasn't too hot out there. It hasn't gotten too hot in the Houston area yet. But I was surprised how noisy it was because we were right next to Highway 59 doing all these things. So during the tour, which I didn't even have to ask for, I mean, I certainly wanted to go on one, but Michelle says, oh, would you like a tour of the studio? And she goes, oh, if you have time. And I'm like, hell yeah, I got time.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to check my schedule here. I think I could pencil something in.
I've been working out a plan to break in for years, and now I can just walk in. Sure.
Security's not going to stop me this time.
So as we walked by her desk, she grabbed a bag and she says, "Oh, this is nothing. I couldn't get any good stuff. We don't have any good swag to hand out." She was apologizing for the free stuff that she was giving me. So here's one thing. Oh, I got to turn it around. Now, I won't say I am an American Idol fan, but I now am the owner of an American Idol. What would that be? I guess a mug. And of course, it says Fox down there. I mean, this is nice. I thought it was glass when I first saw it. It's so clear. Oh, it's a double wall, so it's kind of insulated.
Oh, there you go.
And let's see what else do we got in the bag here. Oh, and of course, I got a Fox News. I need to switch the camera here to a larger shot. So I got this Fox News bag. You can't see that. Let's see what else we got in the bag here. Oh, Josh, you'd like this. Tammy, I guess you would. I guess you would too. This is a beanie, and the beanie says, what does it say? Oh. American Idol on Fox. And it's a colorful thing. I guess it's kind of a green, a black, and a beige color. And now apparently this is a big deal because there's a picture of my daughter holding the cup and wearing these things. But I've got this extra large shirt that says Gotham on it. It's black, as you would expect.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I'm actually kind of a fan of that show a little bit.
Yeah, and it was funny because she said, and I'm probably telling stuff that I'm not supposed to say, but but she says, "Oh man, I'm clear and clear." You get the camera to focus. So it's just not going to focus. Anyway, she says, people were saying, "Where'd you get all that stuff? We can't get any of that stuff. Where'd you get it?" I told her, I said, just do like I tell my wife whenever she wants to know why I get to do things or why I get these things. I just say, it's because I'm Tony. Just tell them it's because I'm Michelle.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Exactly. You understand, Josh. You've known me long enough. I don't know why my wife doesn't get it. So it was a lot of fun, and if you couldn't tell, I was very excited about. I was more excited about doing the tour, meeting Michelle, and meeting a couple of the other news personalities than I certainly was during the interview. Very much looking forward to seeing the interview. Not really looking forward to seeing myself. I do like. You guys don't know how hard it is for me to be on camera. I just don't like it. You know how you pick yourself apart and you look at yourself in the mirror and you pick yourself apart. It's just like that. But I look the way I look. That's the way it is. Do the best you can do and move forward. So, looking forward to seeing that this coming Monday. And I don't know how much of it I'm going to be in. She reached out to me and one other person. So, you just never know until you see it.
Well, I want to know about this heat creep issue that you've been having for a while. As you're driving on the freeway, the things start to heat up a little bit. Now, you recently bought a device to help you track this heat soak or this heat creep that's been plaguing you with some high temperature readings. I don't know if they've been robbing you with performance or anything, but certainly room for concern. Tony, what have your findings led you to believe the culprit is?
This is the top reason why I have not been off-road, because everything around here is at least an hour away or longer. And if I can't safely, in as much as safely drive my vehicle with the coolant temperatures being acceptable for an hour, there's no way in the world I'm going to damage damage the engine wanting to go play off-road, because it is my daily driver. So I literally have been fighting this issue for the past 7 years at least. And I do believe that there was a heating problem, but now I'm a little concerned that perhaps it was a measuring issue. Because it seems that when I'm at 250 degrees on the OBD2 reading, so that's the reading coming from the computer, it says it's 250 degrees with this little device, this engine monitoring tool out of Australia. It's actually a TM1. It's the cheapest model they have. It's a mechanical sensor. It has a little eyelet that you run the bolt through, and wherever you want to measure the temperature. And I put it on the thermostat housing right there next to the temperature sending unit.
And is that the only place that you put it? Was that your first choice? Why did you put it there?
I wanted it as close to where the temperature, the OBD2 PCM temperature sensor was.
Well, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the coolant temperature sending unit down in the lower corner of the radiator?
No.
It was
right in the top of right in the middle of the engine, right there where the one of the what do you call it? The heater hoses and the upper radiator hose.
Jeez. All right.
I think that's the same thing from the pre-97s and certainly on the post-97s, but the pre-97s also have a temperature sensor at the back of the head. So, and I think
I didn't know that there was more than one.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. It's like one is for the gauge and one is for the computer, and I thought that was really strange. I can tell Josh is looking that up right now.
But I am, in fact, yes, because I have to look to type and I have to look over my microphone in order to see the keyboard. So yeah.
But you'll see what I'm saying there. But whenever you look at yours, because Josh has a 99, when you look at yours, you'll see that sensor right there on the front of the engine, just right there in front of the valve cover, screwed into the thermostat housing. So anyway, there's a bolt right there, and that's where I put it. Now, getting back to the what I was saying, it was 250 degrees on the OBD2 sensor. Yet it was 210 on the mechanically connected TM1 sensor.
Interesting.
And it was not linear at all. As the temperature would go up on the OBD2, you hardly see any movement from the mechanical temp sensor. And this correlates with some of the IR scans that I was doing. I have one of those little Fluke IR scanners, temperature scanners, and I would actually pull over and put the IR on the thermostat housing, and it would show me that it was nowhere near the 240 or 250 that the computer was telling me. Now, Matt has told me several times, check your grounds. Make sure that all the grounds are good between the engine, everything really.
Yeah, well, because the 4-liter, the Jeeps in general, anything before 2001, and even maybe even a little bit beyond, because I've dealt with some WJs that had some electrical issues. But Jeeps in general, guys, are finicky about voltage and ground. They need to see excellent ground connections. Those battery cables have to be just so tight and perfect and clean and everything else. And if not, then things like what Tony's talking about start to happen. You get some gauge readings that start messing up. Maybe the Jeep doesn't want to start one day, and all can be solved by, checking those battery terminals or refreshing a ground here and there.
Right. So, got to do that. I still have not done the grounds, but I at least now I feel a little bit better about driving my Jeep and not worrying so much about what the gauge says, which, by the way, 250 is the first notch past 210. So it's nowhere close to the other side. But it doesn't jerk around. You would think that if there was some sort of electrical connection issue that it would be maybe moving around quickly or something. No, it just moves up and up and up and up until it gets to that point and kind of sits there. So
very interesting. Well, glad that you've got it figured out. I know that this heat issue has been plaguing you for quite some time. So, guys,
I'm sorry. I did want to add, if you have a problem like this, do not trust your measuring device. Get another measuring device. In this case, another way to measure the temperature of the engine. I spent about $100 for this fancy unit, but it's portable and I can use it on all the Jeeps or any vehicle that we have. But for $20, you could have I could have gotten a mechanical. What do you call those? Mechanical temperature reader gauges, and just plumbed it into one of the hoses. Actually, I think I could have plumbed it into the one of the. God, I'm losing my mind on it. The heater core hoses, because the coolant's always circulating through there. At least it is on the 97 pluses.
Well, you can get an infrared laser thermometer from Harbor Freight for about $20. You can get one of the gun style for about $36. So there would be two great alternative sources for a second opinion on your temperature, if that is what you're having. guys, if you are having some heat issues, don't resort to starting to cut holes in your hood or start swapping out components. Make sure that you actually have an issue and it's not just a device that's measuring things wrong and reporting back to you incorrectly.
And I think that gave me a many years and much distress, especially over going out and having fun with my Jeep. So, just spend a little time, a little money, and it'll save you a lot in the long run.
Well, something that I've been dealing with for a little while now, ever since I went with my over-the-knuckle steering, is something called tie rod roll. And it happens with any tie rod steering system out there. And especially when you step away from the inverted Y system and go to an inverted T like what I've got now, things change a little bit different. That tie rod roll is enhanced. And you end up with what's called a dead spot in your steering. And although mine is very minimal, over time and after several wheeling trips, it tend to get a little bit more. And what has happened is basically where that drag link comes down and meets the tie rod or meets the track bar. Meets the tie rod. I'm getting everything all bass-ackwards here. But where that drag link comes and meets the tie rod, the actual tie rod end will roll against that joint, will roll against that connection point as you turn the steering wheel. And once it rolls to its maximum point, that's at which point you actually start steering the Jeep. And the in-between spot is, that dead spot as that tie rod rolls back against itself or back against where it's mounted at. To prevent this and to limit this a little bit, people usually do is put in a little polyurethane spacer right there. And that sort of reduces the amount of roll. Well, polyurethane is basically a plastic and it gives a little bit. You want it to give a little bit. If you put in like a big stack of washers in there, for instance, that doesn't give. And you need a little bit of play in that. You need a little bit of tie rod roll to prevent from binding and to accommodate the movement of the axle and suspension as it goes through its cycle. Well, mine has worn out over the years. Now, I got the 1-ton GM tie rod ends. I have 1-ton over-the-knuckle steering. A little bit more extreme than a lot of you guys are out there running, but I deal with a lot of extreme rock crawling with my wheeling style. And over the years that I've had this steering setup, my spacer has started to wear out. And that dead spot has gotten a little larger than I would like to, stay comfortable with. And especially when you're driving a Jeep down the freeway at 70 miles an hour with big old lifted tires and a big dead spot, things get a little interesting real quick. So I want to eliminate that. And what I decided to do was I found something on Rough Stuff recently. Now, they're the people who I actually got my steering components from. Now, the bars I got through JCR because I had a gift certificate through them. But I got all of my 1-ton tie rod ends, and I got my track bar. I've gotten a lot of stuff from Rough Stuff. And guys, if you are a builder, if you are looking to upgrade your Jeep with some stuff that will require some fabrication skills, well, Rough Stuff is where you want to go for that. They've taken care of me in the past. They will take care of you in the future. They have a massive selection of builder parts, and one of the things that they are offering now is a Rough Stuff exclusive device that they call the Cure, and I happen to have one of them right here. Now, this is like a UHMW or a polycarbonate, a very hard Teflon, a high density Teflon, if that. But it's I don't know, my mic isn't necessarily picking it up, but it's hard. I think it's harder than what I had put in there before. And the difference between this and a lot of the other tie rod spacers is this little lip that you see right here. Now, what that's going to do is actually cradle the tie rod end. And the stud of the tie rod is going to fit through there, and it mounts up against the tie rod itself. And so that tie rod is going to sit right inside of that lip right there, and that lip is actually going to reduce a lot more of that tie rod roll. This is what they call the Cure, and this is the Cure for tie rod roll. If you guys have a dead spot in your steering and you are running 1-ton tie rod ends, and you have a bit of that tie rod roll that you'd like to get rid of, I highly encourage you guys to check out Rough Stuff and get yourself one of these. It's the Cure. I just happened to throw this in on my order of my frame stiffeners, and I will be putting this in here very soon. Now, I've done the research on this, and I've actually talked with some Jeepers here in my area who are running these right now. And they say, yeah, no more just plain old washers or, the bushings that you can get anywhere else or make on your own. This right here actually has some engineering done to it, and this will eliminate your guys' tie rod roll.
That is $19 from Rough Stuff. There's probably some shipping on that. And it is made, I had it here in front of me. It's like Deltron or something.
It might be a high-density Delrin. Yeah, it feels like that's Delrin, Teflon, UHMW. It's all a composite plastic-like material that is very dense and very, very strong. So if you guys want to check that out, go over to roughstuff.com and roughstuffspecialties.com rather, and check out all that they have to offer for the XJs for basically any Jeep out there. They even got some Toyota stuff and other universal builder parts as well. I got myself my frame stiffeners, a lot of other stuff there, and most recently, I got myself the Cure.
So I'd just like to mention, you might want to actually do a Google search for, or Bing or whoever you use, Rough Stuff The Cure, because I went to their front page and I was having a hard time finding it. So if you just do the search Rough Stuff The Cure, it'll take you right where you need to go. The code for that little puppy is R as in Romeo 1768. And do me another favor. Whenever you make your order and there's a comment there, a little comment section, tell them you heard about it on the XJ Talk Show.
Very good. Another way you guys can find it, if you do go to roughstuffspecialties.com, click on their new products tab right there on the top left corner of their categories there. It's new products. It's the very first one right there. And about halfway down on the left-hand side, you will find the Cure.
All right. Josh, did you want to tell people about your ham test, and just in case you fail it and we can make fun of you next week?
Yes, guys, after much to do, what has been going on now? Almost 2 years I've been talking about getting my ham license. And there's several other xjtalk.com members that
that makes it worse, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It makes it worse. A little self-deprecation here. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of we'll give myself a few lashes. I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and join the crowd and I'm going to do it when you guys do it. And maybe I'll do it first. All this stuff. Nope, never happened. Guys, I've got an extremely busy schedule, and finding time for this has been difficult. It is something that I desperately want to do, but it comes into a list of priorities of things that I need or have to take care of. And this just kept getting pushed back, unfortunately. Well, now the time has come where somebody that is in my day-to-day life is also taking their ham test, and I will be damned if they're going to get it in before me. So this is my attempt to step up to the plate and finally get my ham test. Now, I've been studying for a couple of years, off and on, sometimes very seriously and diligently, sometimes going weeks and months without even doing any research or studying at all. Lately, I have been keeping up on my studies a little bit, but I am not a good tester. I never have been, and I certainly wasn't an A student. And so, this has got me a little bit nervous. And obviously, this isn't like, well, if you fail, you're never going to drive a car again type of thing, or, you're not going to get some sort of degree or something like that. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm making it more of a deal than it really is. But hopefully after this weekend, by the time the next XJ Talk Show rolls around, I will know whether or not I am a licensed amateur radio operator.
You youngins these days, I had to wait like 3 to 6 weeks, and I had to check the mailbox every day for my ham license.
Those olden days.
Yes, and now all you have to do is go take your test. They'll tell you right there if you passed it, and within, I think, a week, you can check the FCC ULS database, and as soon as you see it online, you can start using it. You kids today.
Well, I'll be saying prayers for you.
Thank you. Speaking of kids, Tammy, your son has got a joke for Tony, doesn't he?
Yes, ever since your Henway joke, which, by the way,
outstanding.
We were explaining this to my older son. We were telling him about the Henway joke, and he's like, "What's a Henway?" My husband and I are looking like, "Oh no!" So he fell for it too.
It comes full circle. Did you say, "Oh, honey, you shouldn't say that," or did you just tell him 3 or 4 pounds?
We did, but he was looking at us like, "What?" He didn't. It took him a while. So he takes after me in that department. So anyway, my 9-year-old son wrote another joke. It's He wrote it on paper here. Why was 6 scared of 7?
You see how I'm not answering?
Because 7, 8, 9. Anyway, but bum.
Oh, where's my applause?
Man.
I have a boo,
Kid-
but I'm not going to do that one.
Kid humor. Nothing like it.
I'll do
Nothing
this.
like it, I swear. Damn gobble.
Oh, well. That's great. Thank you.
Here,
no. And thank you.
I should have thrown it at the camera like David Letterman.
There is a mandatory 6 months that has to be on the refrigerator, Tammy. I'm surprised you don't know these things.
Well, I'll unfold it.
Oh, but he'll
put it up.
see. He'll see now.
Yeah.
It was for the show. Just tell him it was for the show.
It was prop.
I don't think that's her son. God, I hope not. All right. Well, guys, we are going through the show here, and we've got another Jeep Mama segment here for you. Each and every week, she pulls a product out of somewhere and gives us a review about it. This week is the steering attenuator by Performance Stability.
And so I told you, they originally contacted me about putting this on my Jeep, and I had no idea what this product was or what it did or anything about the claims they made. And I was honestly wondering, what is harsh road feedback? So I spoke to some knowledgeable Jeep friends about it, and they said, just give this product a try. And so I started to do a lot of research on this subject about oversteer, jerky steering, the attenuator, and all the steering parts on the Jeep. And it wasn't until I started this research that some things about myself and my Jeep became clear. Now, I'm going to clue you in on a little secret of mine that I would have never in a million years admitted to anyone before, but I dreaded originally driving my Jeep on the interstate at speeds of over 50 miles per hour. But I was never going to admit that to anyone. That would just give them ammo to all the people out there who thought I was crazy for buying my Jeep at my age and being a mom. But anyway, so I'm telling you it now because I'm not afraid of that anymore. Before I bought my Jeep, I never paid attention to the vehicles I drove. I just put the key in ignition and turned it on and, drive to my destination. My mind was always on what I had to do, situations that are happening in my life, anything other than being attuned to the vehicle I was driving. I would say that I was the same way when I first drove my Sahara that way for that first year. I spent most of the time focusing on driving topless, the wind, my hair blowing. I really didn't pay attention to anything else. And yes, I realized the Jeep was noisy, and that's to be expected. Driving my Jeep, I would feel every bump and crack and crevice on the road, but that's what it's all about, driving a Jeep. And then I remembered the tense times of driving on the interstate. And I always had both hands on the steering wheel, and I never would sit back and relax. And I always wondered if it was the fact that I was just getting older and soon I'd be one of those old drivers cruising 40 miles per hour on the interstate because I was just so nervous of driving. And then I thought maybe I just wasn't manly enough to handle, such an awesome piece of machinery like the Jeep. It wasn't until this research and all the reading about the feedback on the Jeep forums that people were giving that I realized it wasn't me. It wasn't just me not being manly enough, so to speak. I wasn't getting too old. So I finally reached out to the company and told them, you know what, I'm ready to try out your product. So Tuesday morning, Adams Extreme Motorsports installed the attenuator. So they installed it, the great crew. It took about an hour. So after they installed it, I jumped in my Jeep, hoping I would notice a difference. And most of the comments I read and the folks on the Jeep forums, some of them noticed a difference, some of them noticed no change at all. And so honestly, I felt I really wouldn't notice any difference at all because of my experience in the world of autos, and auto mechanics was basically nil. So I put the key in the ignition and put my Jeep into drive, and immediately I felt the steering wheel was different. It was like someone took a screwdriver to it and just tightened it up. And at first I attributed it to my wishful hoping that there was a change. But as I continued down the road, I'm heading south back to the DC area, And I could still feel the slapping on the road of my BF Goodrich mud tires on the road. I still bounced in my seat as the Jeep rumbled over the bumps and cracks in the highway. And it was still the great same Jeep ride, feeling all the grooves and the contours in the road. And now remember back in Wrangler Talk just a little while ago, I told you about my two-handed white knuckle nervous Nelly driving. Barely getting speeds up to 60 miles per hour on the interstate because I was just too nervous. Well, it wasn't until about halfway down the road on I-95 where I realized I was cruising at over 75 miles an hour with just one hand on the steering wheel. I was lost in my thoughts of what I needed to do that day, and I hadn't even once stretched out my hands. Usually I'll take my hand off the wheel because I've been squeezing it so hard and I have to, stretch it out. I didn't even do that. And I was able to change lanes. I was passing slower cars. I just wasn't as nervous driving.
Out of my way.
Yeah,
I know. And I felt a difference. I felt more at ease. I felt more comfortable. I wasn't that nervous Nelly driving. There's like lots of potholes on the road. And normally when I would hit the potholes in the Jeep, the steering wheel would kind of jerk and you could feel yourself jerking the Jeep, but it didn't happen this time. So I'm really excited to drive on some more of those familiar roads to see if there's any other changes. This product will not make the Jeep ride smoother. You're still going to feel the bumps and the bounces on the road. What it does is it makes the steering more comfortable. It's less harsh and it's less jittery when you do hit those bumps and grooves in the road. They have an install video on their website as well as a look at the product in action. And they're having a sale right now. It sells for $130 with free shipping in the U.S. And you can check out my blog, www.jeepmama.com. And there's links to the Performance Stability website, the Extreme Motorsports website, my links to my previous blogs about this product, and links to the other reviews from other more, I would say, qualified Jeepers who said they noticed a difference. Plus, there's some pictures of those cool modified Jeeps at Adams Jeep Motorsports.
So, again, if you guys would, if you go over there and purchase one of those steering stabilizer or dampeners, please let them know that you heard about it on xjtalk.com, xjtalkshow.com, and from jeepmama.com. So this is great. I'm really glad to hear about this, Tammy, because I don't know if you said or not, but this thing actually goes on the drag link, and I think it replaces the little I don't know what that part is called, Josh, the little section that goes between the little sleeve, that the adjustment sleeve on the drag link.
Adjustment coupler.
I have the part out in my Jeep right now.
Yeah, you can keep that just in case. It's always a good idea to maintain those parts, especially when you get your third and fourth Jeep and you need something. That's right. So it just replaces that sleeve, and I guess it makes it a lot easier to adjust the steering wheel because now you got that big, huge thing that you can turn, and I would assume that it doesn't cause any issue as far as dragging along anything else that's underneath there. It clears everything properly.
It's up higher than a lot of the other things in the Jeep, so it's not going to get hit at all.
Yeah, that's going to be fairly close to the pitman arm itself, so
right.
It's up and out of the way.
Yeah, it is.
So
unless it's some oddball, rock that you go over, but I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah. So I've got to ask, Tammy, did you paint it purple before you installed it?
No, I didn't, but I should, huh?
I'm just surprised you didn't. That especially you can see it, right?
So.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you could see it. It might be a little lower.
You have to bend down and look under to really see it.
Yeah, but
there's pictures of it on my.
You would know that it was there, and you would know if it was purple. So there you go.
Instead of the black spray paint for the rust, I should have got purple.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Get you. I bet you somebody could mix up a can for you. It probably costs $30, but you could get that the exact color in a spray can or several spray cans. All right. Well, that's a great review. Thank you very much. And let's get over to Wheeling Where with Joshy.
This is where we talk about what events are coming up in your neck of the woods and around the nation. The 4th annual Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival. The Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival is a tribute event to the father of all Jeeps, the history behind it, the people who created it, and its birthplace, Butler, Pennsylvania. The main event is at Cooper's Lake Campground, while the Jeep Invasion takes place in downtown Butler. You want to see a couple thousand Jeeps in one place? Well, this is where you'd want to go. Guys, this is an event that I would love to go to. Just a little bit too far out, and the timing, it just never works for me. If you want a great Father's Day trip and start up a new tradition, Jeeping with your family, then head out June 12th through the 14th to Butler, Pennsylvania for the Bantam Jeep Festival. This is the 4th annual one, and guys, it's getting bigger and better all the time. The stuff that they are providing for the spectators is absolutely massive. The list is huge. There's wheeling, there's show and shine, there's a parade, whole 9 yards. Great event for the family. Guys, the 4th annual Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival, June 12th to the 14th. For more information, head to bantamjeepfestival.com. Big Dogs Off-Road presents the Jeep Jam and 4x4 Expo, happening June 7th through the 8th in West Friendship, Maryland. For more information, head to bigdogsoffroad.com. And the Ultra 4 Racing Circuit brings to you the Metal Cloak Stampede, May 8th through the 9th. City SRVA Gate number 4, State Vehicular Recreation Area in California. Guys, for more information, check it out, ultra4racing.com. This is a spectator event, so if you guys want to see some hardcore, very fast, hardcore racing action, off-road racing action, that is, by all means, check out ultra4racing.com. That's it for this week, guys. If you got an event coming up in your area, let's get the word out. Whether it's a show and shine, a cruise in, a club run, fundraiser, or a huge event like the Easter Jeep Safari, let us know by giving us a call or sending us an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
Great show, guys. I really appreciate everybody being here. And I don't know about you guys, but this is just so much fun. I think Tammy has had a hard time tonight because she's not using her standard headphones.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we appreciate you hanging in there. And you need to slap some people around and get your headphones back.
I know. My 15-year-old took them so he can listen to Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, okay. So well, at least it's a good reason.
Not my choice.
Well, and the rest of you out there need to make sure you visit and like our Facebook page. Head over to facebook.com/xjtalk.page and make sure you add us to your various lists and stuff like that. Twitter @xjtalk, Stitcher Radio, tunein.com. Tony's laughing because I have no idea about social media. iTunes, guys, we are talking about those reviews each and every show. If you are listening to us through iTunes, please take a few moments to give us a review and leave us a comment. Don't forget about our YouTube channel and make sure you are subscribing, youtube.com/xjtalk. And you can't forget about xjtalk.com and xjtalkshow.com. XJ Talk Show is where you can find our entire show archive for your listening and viewing pleasure, 100% free. We bring it to you each and every week, guys. Join us Thursdays, 10 p.m. Central at xjtalkshow.com for the live show.
How do you do that without breathing?
I am breathing. Trust me.
He's sneaking little breaths in there.
10 minutes from now, he's going to be off the air and go,
yeah, that's right. I was a competitive swimmer for 7 years, 3 different teams year-round. I've got lungs like a dolphin.
Well, I think that's against the law to have dolphin lungs. And they taste like tuna. So you guys have a great night. We really appreciate you being here, especially if you joined us in the live show. We had about 6 or 7 people that were chatting it up in the chat room. We appreciate it. Paps Boys, very funny. Gave us a new joke. Gave me a new joke.
Yeah, that is just priceless, guys.
We don't need to be giving Tony any more new jokes.
Another reason to join us for the live show, guys. Lots of fun happening at xjtalkshow.com. Join us next week for the live show and some fun in the chat room.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. She remembered to wave.
Hey folks, I'm Clyde and this is Tommy from the Paps Boys House. You're listening to the XJ Talk Show with Tony and Josh. Cheers!
Alrighty. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I thought revealing the some of the shenanigans that go on behind the scenes was fun too.
Oh, heck yeah. Always.
Yeah, sorry about those headphones, Tammy. I could see that you were struggling with that one in your ear.
Yeah, well, it keeps falling out.
How's the sound quality on it? Is the sound quality worse, or is it just a pain trying to keep it in there?
It's just they're huge. It just won't stay in. It's not typical. I should have just broken out the ones like you guys wear.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pair of those. I should have just broke those out.
Well, I think
I didn't want to muss my hair up.
I was going to say, I think it's more conducive to short hair than it is long hair.
Yeah.
Although I guess you can kind of put it under the headband. You could probably put under your hair in the back and
yeah, that's true.
And kind of wear it as a reverse Geordie visor. Now that's not such a bad timely reference. There's a lot of Trekkies out there, Josh. Josh is concentrating on our promo.
He's typing away.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's not. He's talking in the chat room.
I'm doing both. I got two screens.
He's a multitasker. I can't do all that.
Multitasking is an illusion.
I can't even understand the jokes. I'm so slow.
Oh, I didn't want to have the screen flashing at me, so I didn't talk about my wife driving down the road, I-10 over here, and being surrounded by 18-wheelers, as she put it, and then doing about 70 miles an hour, and then getting death wobble in her 2003 TJ. So
all right, we have to talk about that next week then in the campfire.
So she talk about white knuckle driving. Any little shake or shimmy, and there's lots of them in a TJ, a Wrangler, especially with that short wheelbase. She would be very nervous that the death wobble was about to start again. And the thing is that I explained to her, I changed everything in the front end. You will not have death wobble. And she hasn't. It's not like it's the first time I've changed front end parts. It's strange, though. I have never had death wobble on my 98 Cherokee. Now, I changed the parts probably before I needed to, but I think I changed them out whenever the track bar started moving around on me up close to the unibody. And I just said, well, I'm going to go ahead and get a drag link and all the rest of this stuff. Oh, and that part that you got from Rough Stuff, Josh, that may actually encourage me to go to 1-ton steering on my Jeep. That's something I did not. I like it. I like the idea of it, but I did not want the tie rod roll. I don't like that whole idea, especially on a daily driver. I mean, if you're off road and doing stuff, sure, what the hell? But
just make sure you do your research, Tony. There's a lot that goes into going with 1 ton, as far as like wheel offset, diameter, because
I remember you had to change wheels on yours.
Yeah, I did.
And you had to find that out when you were putting your old wheels back on.
Yeah, I did, and I found that out the hard way. So, yeah, that was $1,100 mistake. Well, not mistake, but just yeah. I mean, having to buy. I was planning on buying tires anyways, so when I say that, it's just like it wasn't a mistake. It was just I had to spend another $400 or $500 in addition to what I was going to be spending on the tires. Getting
I'll be right
rims,
back.
So.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's never fun, and also too, you kind of feel silly because it's like, now why did I know that? I should have known that. With all the research that I do, all the time I spend online when I'm supposed to be working, I should have had that information readily available. I wonder where that noise is coming from.
That's me. It's hot over here, and I've got a fan going down by my feet. And when sometimes when I lean forward, the air kind of reflects off of my torso and blows up to the mic, and is just enough to. And then sometimes when I get my nose past the plane of the pop filter, and I breathe out my nose, and it hits the mic as well, and that's just enough to trigger the gate.
Yeah, I gotcha. Doing way too much thinking about that. So I think we're going to wrap this thing up. I know we're going to do record the promo, and we're going to try to get Tammy some relief from those massive manly ear canal shaped headphones that she's wearing. So anyway, thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate everybody that came. It is, let's see, I see the Paps boys. I know I saw Steve 4.3 LXJ in there. Still early for him because he's over there on the West Coast. Thank you very much for the quick Jeep tips, Steve. Those things are just gold, man. It's like having a strip of candy. I can just rip a piece off and throw it into the show, and it works out great. That was a great idea you had there with the quick Jeep
Yeah,
tips.
it's a really good idea.
Yeah, and very handy. So let's see. Well, there was a lot of Paps Boys Jeep Mama action going on there. Let's see. I see. Was that? I think this is tonight. Jeep
tell
Boss.
my husband.
Not what I meant, Tammy. So let's see. Super Croc, was Super Croc in there? Was that tonight?
I think that was last. I think that was last.
Yeah, I think that was last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a guest, 6135. We had Steve, 4.3 LXJ. Looks like, there was Pro Skater 711. I guess he was in and out real quick, or she was in and out real quick. Don't say it, Josh. And yeah.
Well, what was that? Oh, what was that movie? Not Agent Orange, Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm. Strange movie. Boy, it's really weird to see that guy go from like a 17-year-old kid to the older gentleman that he is now. I can't remember his name, but he's been in a lot of different things, including the remake of Fantasy Island.
Wait, what?
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he was in the same type of character as Mr. Rourke? Rourke? You know, the guy that wore the white suit.
Yeah.
Khan from
like that.
Star Trek 2.
God, what is this?
Nice.
The Rich Corinthia leather. If you guys remember the Chrysler commercials.
I do. That's funny. God, that brings me back.
That was really old. Dipline. All right. Well, anyway, I was wrapping this thing up. I could go on all night. I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll let these other two guys wrap it up.
I just want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat room and for joining us each and every week. Guys, thank you very much, and appreciate the effort and the interaction. Big shout out to the Paps boys. Guys, thanks again as always, and welcome back, Tommy. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm excited for the next videos. I love the videos.
That's going to be awesome.
Oh, did you see the most recent one? I think it's the most recent one where Tommy needs a knife and
yes,
it throws it over there. And
yeah, that was really good.
The most impressive thing was that knife spinning in the air. I don't really know how they did that. It was probably something really simple, but it's probably just a series of images that were edited in. But it was funny. Keep your eye on the ball, Tommy, not the knife. Anyway, you guys have to watch it to see what I'm talking about. All right. You guys have a great night. Please join us next Thursday, 10 p.m. Central Time. And I'll apologize. It's Josh's fault. That's why it has to be 10 p.m. So, but it's still good. It's still fun.
It's actually 11 p.m.
There you go.
Eastern Time.